Hello everyone, welcome to the Ranting Shop. It's me, Melissa. Today we're going to be discussing Ready to Love Season 9, Episode 6. And the name of this episode is Closed Mouths Don't Get Fed. This episode, in my opinion, was very quick and very lackluster and I didn't get any connection. I didn't get any vibe of potential connection. Maybe just with Alexis and Chaz. But we're going to talk about that in a minute. Okay, so let's go back to the very beginning. Of course, I already told you guys Koshia goes home, and to no one's surprise, I think that is what Will wanted, and he got the men to vote in his direction. So I think that is why he got his wish. So happy for him, he got his wish. So Rashina and Justin go salsa dancing. She says her biggest connection is Chaz, and I was like, this is the very first time we're all hearing that Chaz is her biggest connection. So I was like, since when? Now Jonathan is really starting to irritate me. He mentioned he's very open, he's very honest, but I don't think he's being very open and honest in this process. I feel like he's simply telling the women what they want to hear. I don't know what he has to promote, I don't know what he has to sell, but I feel as if he wants to stay on the show, but I haven't seen any connection with anyone there. He says he has a connection with Rashina and who else did he say? Rashina and someone else. But I don't see the connection with Rashina. He's saying it, but it doesn't translate anywhere else. I don't hear it in his voice. I don't hear it see it in his demeanor. I'm not sold. I'm not convinced. It just looks like he's grabbing onto anyone that would make him stay on the show. And it's really coming across very obviously. Alexis tells Chaz, because they have a date, because Chaz is telling her, I feel bad that Koshia went home because I feel like she was being open and she was being honest. And Alexis took that opportunity to do what the women dislike her for doing, which is divulge information from the lounge to these men. And she's saying that they had a heated conversation in the lounge, and I was saying she's saying they had a heated conversation, but she's not saying why there was a heated conversation, which is essentially because Alexis is a tattletale. Alexis likes to run and go tell the men what the women are saying. She's not adding that part to it, So rightfully so, she doesn't feel bad about Koshia leaving. Now, Chaz is the main man in this episode. All the women have connections with him. Rashina has a connection with him. Alexis has a connection with him. Vanessa has a connection with him. And maybe all the other women do. I don't think he's in the bottom of any woman's choices. Now, he says cheating is his non-negotiable, and I saw him really shooting his shot at Alexis this episode, and she's eating it up so well and she loves it, and she really wanted a kiss to happen, but he didn't kiss her out of respect for his other connections, and that made Alexis like him even more. And here listen to what she says. She says something like, whatever you want, she'll do. She's basically waiting for him to give the green light, and then everything that he wants, she's going to reciprocate. And I said that is her problem. She goes along to get along. Like, we see it with the Jonathan situation. We see it with the Lamar situation. When she's uncomfortable, she does not feel comfortable to tell the men, hey, I feel uncomfortable. Hey, I do not want you to speak to me in this way. Hey, I do not like the way that you are coming at me. She has the energy for the women, but she doesn't have that same energy for the men. And I've noticed that, like, if we listen to Married for 10 Years, she likes Alexis, and I feel like Married for 10 Years likes any woman that is nice to the men. But I don't only consider being nice to the men as a means to like or dislike an individual. I look more so at the character of that individual. Yes, I do understand why you keep going back to the men and telling them certain things, but I feel like the approach is wrong. The intention is probably right, but the approach is so wrong. And the women keep telling her like, yeah, you could do what you need to do, but the way you're going about it, we don't like it, and we don't feel protected in the lounge to talk amongst you, because we know you're gonna go back and tell the men. And we're gonna go to that later, because she is gonna get confronted again about doing stuff like that. Now, Patrice, Alonso, and William and Vanessa, they go on this group date, and I feel like it was really unfair to Vanessa, because she was basically sitting there watching William and Alonso kind of compete for Patrice's attention or affection. And it's like, how does that benefit Vanessa in this situation? I also feel as if Vanessa clearly doesn't like William, and neither does she like Alonso. So, and I don't feel like she's open to liking them either. I feel like with Alonso, okay, it's very clear that he has a thing for Patrice, fine. But with William, she's not open to it. Like, you could tell with her body language that she's just not open to it. Alonso says he can deal with anything, which to me seems like a cop-out, because if someone is asking you what is your non-negotiable, for you to say that you could deal with anything is ridiculous. And it speaks to your lack of self-esteem. It speaks to your lack of boundaries. It speaks to your lack of self-esteem if you're willing to accept anything from anyone. I don't know in which world does that even sound attractive, because it's giving boy, you know. And for Patrice to still be into Alonso after that response, it baffles me. Now, William says he wants someone nice, understanding, and open to his children. He's been adopted before, and these are his only blood relatives that he knows. So his children are important to him. William, of course, that's the first time Vanessa is hearing that. So I feel like it gave her another layer to William. But what really surprised me about Vanessa, and this is how I know that she's BSing, when she doesn't like you, she'll come up with anything to justify not liking you. William says he likes to go to the gym. And gymming for a lot of people is a good mental health thing that they do. Like, it allows you to burn all of that frustration, the anger, the excitement, whatever you're feeling that's overwhelming. The gym is a good place to go to release that. So I don't understand why she didn't take it like he's just like trying to, how do I say this? He's just trying to be healthy in all capacities. The way she took it was, well, if you spend that much time in the gym, then you're not going to have time for me and my children, which is so crazy to me, because anybody I've ever known who goes to the gym, they know how to balance gym and their other responsibilities. So why don't you think that William is going to be able to balance gym? He has 3 children already, so you feel as if he's neglecting the gym for his 3 children. Obviously, if anything, William has a better understanding of how to prioritize his time, knowing he has children. So obviously, you know, him knowing gym is an important part of his life, whoever he goes with, he would make it so that he's able to also take care of his responsibilities as well as himself. Girl, like, just say you don't like William and keep your mouth shut, because whatever excuse you're giving makes absolutely no sense. You're looking for anything to grab onto just so you could justify the fact that you simply don't like William because you don't find him attractive. Let's just be honest about it, okay? He's not smooth. He's not like Chaz. It is what it is. Like, you're into Chaz. Chaz is the only one you're into. Okay, fine. Okay? Now, Dominique and Mika, why are they still going out? Why are they still talking? Like, I just feel like these people are wasting our time. It's already been established. Mika doesn't want any children. That is like her biggest non-negotiable. Dominique wants children. What else is there to speak on? That's why I feel like Mika should have been the one to go, because at least Koshia had a connection. Mika has no connection, because only one person is willing to work with her, and the fact that she doesn't want children, which is Justin. And I feel like Justin is just saying what the women want to hear. I feel like he wants children, but for whatever reason, he's in this survivor mode on this show, where he has to adapt and change and move his non-negotiable to accommodate these women, which to me makes him look weak, which is already a sentiment that the women have of him, you know. Now, they talk about him being a man that is a combination of street and cultured. He's not like the other men. Mika says her non-negotiable is she needs someone that could be funny. Dominique wants a woman who can cook, and he just wants someone that could meet him halfway. And I feel like he's grasping onto Mika saying, oh, I just haven't met the man that has made me change my mind about children. And I feel like that is such a dangerous grass to hold on to, because she's not saying that that person is going to be you, you know. So you're grasping onto that and feeling like, oh, maybe I can be the man to change her mind. And you enter into that relationship only for it to crumble because she does not feel that way with you, you know. So why waste time? Jonathan and Maya. Maya is not interested in Jonathan. Jonathan is a regular guy with a regular job. He's a teacher. Teachers don't get paid that much money. Maya doesn't give me that she wants to be with a teacher, right? She herself is an entrepreneur. She gives me that she wants someone to spend on her and elevate her and bring her to the next level, which is not Jonathan. He mentions being a long-term relationship guy, and Maya is also a long-term relationship girl, but that's literally the only thing I think they really connected on in this date. Do I see any spark? No. Do I see any connection there? No. Rashina, Jonathan, and Will go make body butters. Do I feel like Rashina has a connection with any of these men? Absolutely not. Do I feel like these men have a connection with Rashina? Absolutely not. And you could tell Will seemed very closed off. Jonathan seemed even more closed off. In fact, William said, oh, he's surprised it wasn't Alexis. I think Alexis is his only connection. The rest of the women do not like Will. So I don't think his odds looked really well or good in this particular episode. Now, they do this really, I forgot the name of this bowl, this ringing bowl, that when you move this thing around it, it makes a noise. I think it was a means of relaxing them and bringing them to the now and all these things. And they do their body butters and things. And when it comes to the non-negotiables, Rashina wants trust and commitment. Jonathan, he struggled to answer, but he said if he's not feeling you, essentially, he's not opening up to you. So in my mind, it's like, why are you on this show? This show requires a certain level of openness. If you're not open, it doesn't make sense. The audience doesn't connect to you. The person you're trying to talk to doesn't connect to you. So why are you there? That's my thing about Jonathan. He's a waste of space. He tried to, and Married for 10 Years was really good at how she analyzed this. Jonathan tried to give Alexis what she wanted by trying to be how she is or who she claims to be, very open, very bold in a sense, and very fun. That's not who Jonathan's personality is. But since he wants to get Alexis, he figured, okay, this is my shot to prove to Alexis that I am open and I am fun and I'm not as reserved as I said I was. Like, I could be different for you, is what he was trying to show her, and it backfired on him. And backfired so badly that you could tell that Alexis is not that into Jonathan anymore. She's kind of closed the door on him. And yes, he's apologized, but what you did is what you did, which made her uncomfortable and closed her off. So it backfired in his face. And because he's not willing to be open with the other women, his only connection is Alexis. So it's like, what are you doing here? You shot your foot with Alexis, so you really have no connection. So anyways, Rashina felt, Will said his thing was having a, connection to God, and his faith is important to him and stuff like that. But back to Jonathan. Rashina felt that Jonathan struggled to open up to her, which she didn't like. I don't think any woman wants to feel as if she doesn't know you when you guys are supposed to be getting to know each other. It's supposed to be a dating thing. You're supposed to be learning so much from the person you're talking to, and if you're not giving that person anything to learn from you, then what's even the point, And Rashina was like, I'm not about to do this with Jonathan. Absolutely not. I think he was so not feeling the date with Rashina that he got up and he was like, I'm leaving, bye. And he left early. And so it was just William and Rashina. And I feel like William asked Rashina a very strategic question, which was, who is at your bottom? And in my mind, I'm like, you just said that Jonathan is not opening up to you. Jonathan should be the least connection. But she said it was Laron, to William's appreciation, because I feel like Laron is his competition. He does not like Laron too much because of Laron's association with Koshia, who he really doesn't like. So when Rashina mentioned Laron, you could see that Will's face started to light up, like, yes, I might have a chance at getting Laron home this episode. I might potentially be safe this episode. That ended up backfiring on him. During the women's lounge, Vanessa mentioned gym is her issue. Vanessa, if you don't shut your mouth, because I don't understand how going to the gym is an issue for you. How someone going to the gym bothers you. Chaz looks like he goes to the gym as well. So do you have a problem with Chaz going to the gym? I highly doubt it. I think your issue is simply that you're not interested in William, and you need to find any silly, stupid excuse for you to write him off. And you found it. And you keep repeating it, and you look dumber and dumber the more you say it. Like, girl, please. They mentioned Jonathan not being open. They say Will is messy. The women don't like him. I know for sure Patrice doesn't like William. Rashina doesn't like William. Mika doesn't like William. Which other woman is there? I don't see Vanessa connecting with William. So really and truly, the only connection William has is Alexis. So Patrice brings up the fact that Will came to her telling her, I heard that you were saying I sleep on the floor. And Patrice didn't appreciate it because it's like, Alexis, that information is coming from you. And Mika also feels like Alexis goes and tells the men their conversations. And it's like, Tommy's the one that made up the rule that what happens here stays here. So he should have been the one to like reprimand her and tell her, hey, like, I already told you guys, please don't say the things that we discuss here to the men, because what it ends up doing It's creating a very messy situation where it's almost like the women have to answer for their opinions, which they should never have to do. If they feel a certain way about a man for whatever reason, they should be allowed to feel that way, and they shouldn't be like threatened with the men coming back to them trying to check them for their own opinions. So they get to Alexis, and they have a back and forth about it, and Alexis feels as if she can't control what a grown man chooses to do with the information. But that's not the point. The point is, stop beating your mouth. Stop going back to the men, and especially Will, and telling him what the women say. It seems as if Alexis's love language is running her mouth. That's the way she protects the one that she is interested in, because she did it with Chaz as well. And my thing about it is, you don't see how that's affecting the women. She doesn't care. Okay, rightfully so. You shouldn't care about the women too much, because you're not here for the women, you're here for the men. Fine. But also, you're creating a space that is unsafe for them to be honest in, So I think that's like one of the biggest things. And she was combating it. I don't think for once she ever accepted responsibility and said, okay, I will try to change the way I communicate certain things to the men. All she did was be combative and say, oh, it's not me, that's not what I'm doing, and that's exactly what she's doing, So what it shows me is that Alexis is someone that is unable to take accountability for her actions, which to me is a big red flag. Okay, let's talk about the fact that Tommy said that 2 men are going to go home this time instead of 1. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank goodness, because 2 women got sent home last time. So the women put Will, and Jonathan at the bottom. And essentially, Will and Jonathan got sent home. Yeah, oh my gosh. I'm happy that Will got sent home, because the women don't like Will. What I was saying with Alexis, what she's doing, going back and telling these men, she's doing it with good intent. But what she's failing to realize is, you're giving these men, especially William, ammunition to go at these women in a way that makes him even more unlikable. So when she's feeling like she's doing him a favor, she's doing him a disservice. Because guess what he did when he learned the thing about sleeping on the floor? He went to confront Patrice. And what happened as a result? Now he's going home. If he wasn't privy to that very specific example, maybe he could have just taken the information like, be more open, be less this, be more that. Maybe he could have used that and have altered the way he addresses and approaches them in a way that is just more general, without feeling like somebody's out to get him. However, because of the way Alexis divulged the information to him, he feels like everybody's on his back and everybody's there to attack him. So he's gonna in turn come back in attack mode, and that's not gonna be good for him. So whereas Alexis telling the men doesn't really affect her chances, the men's chances are affected because of what they choose to do with the information Alexis tells them. So that backfired on Alexis. Alexis lost 2 very huge connections. The only 2 men that were really feeling Alexis, Jonathan and Will, she lost both of them in this episode. So really and truly, she only really has Chaz. Dominique said she was cool, but Dominique didn't say that he had any romantic interest in Alexis. He simply said she was cool. But my prediction for next week is Mika is gonna go home. I mean, I cannot continue to keep seeing Mika on my screen. Mika is not connecting with any of these men, and it's just time for her to go. I am over it. This whole conversation, it keeps coming back to, I don't want children. Well, leave, because everybody else wants kids, So anyways, let me know what you guys thought about this particular episode. Like, subscribe, and see you next time. Bye.